Yo, what's up? It's me, Jakube. I got a different video today. No 30 or 40. Something completely new. I'm just going to be reacting to Fiji's gameplay, and I'm going to be showcasing off my opinions and analyzing his gameplay. And this is something that he suggested to do. So yeah, different thing. If you enjoy this sort of content, then make sure you tell me in the comment section. I might make more of this. I can make whoever you basically want. I can analyze whatever and give my thoughts and opinions on the gameplay. I can even analyze myself if you want. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into his gameplay. So Fiji, first of all, we can just look at what he has. He's playing in a quad, of course, and the time that this gameplay is taken is not actually at the start of the game, of course. He already has Trauma Kit, level 3. He's got the bag, very nice gold switchblade. He's got quite a decent amount of loot. And this is going to be his first kill right here. Again, not much to say with the first kill. This is his first kill. This push right here is a bit of a risky push. The reason it is he can, number one, might get shot in the back, and number two, there might be multiple enemies here. And also, he didn't reload, so this shit happened where he didn't kill the guy instantly. This is a very, very risky position that can be done. What can also happen is people can come from this window and this like entrance here. And if that happens, big RIP. So I'd say Fiji could have definitely played a bit slower. Throughout this gameplay, I'll just show like what I would have done. One thing here, I would have definitely taken the paranoia. So as you can see, like he doesn't really have many perks. Just take whatever perks they are, as long as they're not useless. That paranoia is pretty trash, but it's useful sometimes. He knows the guy's here because it's sensor, which is very convenient. The guy does not know how to shoot back, so very nice kills. He's grabbing grapples, which is good. One thing you'll see throughout the gameplay is he has one perk. It's a awareness. He will not pop this, and I don't really know why. He nearly popped it there, but he keeps it up for quite a while. This situation is a bit of a weird one. He wasn't very... I don't know if he was not awake or if he was looking at something else. This guy was on the sensor, if you notice. He was on the sensor coming in, like, here. You can see him. And also there's another guy here, so Fiji could have definitely paid attention to this guy. It did cost him the kill, because then Animosity came up the stairs and took that kill. If he saw that guy a bit earlier, he could have grabbed that kill off and had a nicer game. Also, Fiji uses a different setting than me. So he uses a setting where he can repair armor and heal. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I can put up on screen. And he can also... So basically he has one bar where he uses... Like this is all linked. I don't do that because I like to have different binds for my heals and equipment. Either one is good, I just prefer this one. If you're going to play heavy metal heroes though, you want to use what Fiji has and not mine. One thing I would like to showcase here is the way he's grappling. Preferably, you want to not grapple like in the middle of this sort of thing. You would want to grapple on the very edge of this. What this will do, and also grapple at an angle. So for example, where he's standing, you want to grapple here rather than in front of you. What this does is if I play this clip out for you, you'll see that he climbs to the roof. This isn't a problem because he has a sensor, so the chances that there's people here is like minuscule, very, very low. He's also past the redeploy time. Redeploy time is 10 seconds, he has 7, so there's not going to be people redeploying on him. But in a different case, what you preferably want to do is grapple someone to the side of you, so you're at an angle, and then grapple to the top. And what this will do is it will launch you out, and you won't have a climbing animation. So if there is people, you're not going to get instantly destroyed because you're stuck in a climbing animation. You're actually going to hop over them. It also means you can have slightly better positioning because you can actually see people a lot better. Like your field of view is going to be more out than this. And also you can pick if you want to go on cover. Here he has no cover, he has no field of view. If there's people out here, which there isn't, it would be a big problem. But it's fine. Just another extra comment. He's actually taking high ground here, which is a pretty decent idea. There's no one on the bottom, so if you don't really know what to do, just try and go for some high ground. He does see 2 people here. This was a very weird push where he sort of like... If I play this again for you, he sort of like tries to do 2 things at once. Like he goes to the side, but then he comes straight in front. It was a bit of an RIP. These guys don't know how to shoot back, so it's good. But I saved out. He actually made a very nice play. He went on that cylinder thing, which is good. He could have also ran like further down to the other triangles, skylights, whatever they're called. Guy's gonna push him. He has a. I don't know why he would have a SWAT here. SWAT would be good if they're back here, but they're both pushing, so I would have had a switchblade out. He switches here. It's fine. He's doing short peeks here to check if they're pushing him. He hears the guy behind them, which is very nice. I don't hear this guy at all. Turns on him and does very nice. Takes the cover behind this. This tomahawk is a very weird play. In my opinion, he has enough health to not need to rely on this. He has 129. It might have been better if he just shot the guy. This is kind of a risky play.
Oh my god.
He killed him anyway, so it's fine. Here he's having supply issues, which is actually a common theme throughout the whole gameplay. His supply chain is completely cucked, and the supply he has on him is also completely ass. He managed to wipe this guy, which is big RIP. Not really his fault, the guy ego-chowed. Especially when he wasn't weak. From what I can tell, Fiji might be playing slightly lower sense. I don't know. It doesn't look like 14-14, maybe something like 9-9 or something. 10-10. No clue, I might have to ask him what he has. Again, right here. Big thing, he's stacking up on whites, which I would never recommend doing. I would preferably say you should only have like 10 whites or whatever, because you can find these anywhere, like you don't need to stack on these. And then focus on reds. The reason you don't want to do that is because it keeps your inventory open. You're never going to have to drop whites if you just don't pick up as many of them. Also, he doesn't want to pop this yet, which is very weird. He's getting chowed from here. He's peeking it just to know. He probably sees the guy right there. These sort of peaks are pivotal. You don't want to over peek this, and you don't want to under peek it. Just peek very fast to see where the people are. The reason he's looking up like this is right here, if you notice. You want to look up when it's about 10 to 13 seconds, and then you can find people redeploying. That's the perfect time to look up if you want to look for kills, and it will give you information. So here you can see they're landing somewhere down here towards, what's that shit called? Alleyport. So this basically gives them information. If I want to push down here, I'll get some people redeploying. What it also means is because they're redeploying there, there's probably another team which has killed them. So there is probably going to be loot opportunities there, which he does need. He decides to push further down into Wardens. He gets a bit more support from his team here. It's closer over, and this actually pushes him into zone, which is also... The option here is fine. He doesn't have to go Alleyport. This is completely okay. The zone that he gets here is a very, very nice zone because, in my opinion, a south side zone is a lot better to try and go for upper kills. It's a lot easier to try and farm people. If you go up north, there's 3 locations in the last zone, usually. Model, Power, and New. If you go down here, it's just Parade or Shipwreck back here, which means it's a lot easier to rotate and kill people.
Shut up, Genocide, you fucking asshole.
The idea here, which I'm pretty sure he's trying to do, is he's trying to figure out where he wants to go next. So this whole time, he's not really getting lucky with people redeploying on him. That will probably change when he goes to Parade, because it's a good, easy place to just get redeploys. And as you can see, he sees this guy. Now, this is a play that he does, which is a bit interesting. He decides to ego chow this guy, which I wouldn't have exactly done, since this guy is not in a gunfight, and then a bunch of people redeployed here. So you're not actually third-partying anyone, realistically. You're sort of engaging. Makes it so you get third-partied a bit easier. He goes straight in. This guy has a VMP, which is good for him. Definitely something to focus on. And like you can see, get shot in the back. Turns on him, which is fine. Again, he's running out of supply. And that perk, he didn't grab it. Really good perk. Definitely should have at least looked at it. He grabs his brawler though. Here he needs to heal the brawler, which is good. Just takes less time. More convenient. So there's silence there, which is good as well. Again, his loot is kind of lower tier. I mean, no mobility. Mobility should be his main priority. 9mm is running out, and also his meds are a bit inconvenient to have those. In there was a purple auger, if you noticed. There is an idea which he could have done. He could have put detachments from the purple auger on his SWAT, I don't know exactly if he needs them on this gun, but it is an opportunity. He can get stock and shit from there. In here, he's in a bit of a weird position, mainly because of his team. So this doesn't really happen on solo. His team are basically all around him, so he's gonna lose a bit of kill potential from them because he's in the squad. This is a big RIP. When you shoot through grace like that, you don't have like as strong aim assist because there's like half cover in front of you, so you don't really get aim assist really. He looks at the bloody tracker twice, he still does not grab it. Here it's a sort of a big RIP because I'm pretty sure he wiped this team. Let me just guarantee. Yeah, he wiped this team, which was really sad. And he still grabs whites, which in my opinion is a bit of a... It's questionable. He finally does pop the awareness. I don't exactly know why he popped it now instead of before. If it was me, I would have popped it everywhere. And I think this is one of the biggest mistakes in the game. 1 second. That is a mobility there. He never took it. That one mobility. That shit would have been heavily perfect for him to have. You can see it's a mobility. Let me just go frame by frame on you. Oop, that is not frame by frame. Where's frame by frame? There it is. You can see it from the top, it's a mobility. So I can notice that. Again, he's got a bunch of shit happening. He's more focused on the bag, so he's not going to see that. He needs 9mm as well, so I think he's focusing on finding 9mm. If he just saw this mobility, this could have improved his game quite a bit. He gets very nice shit from there. Trauma and has his 9mm sorted. This trauma pop is a bit weird. If I was playing solo, I would never pop it now, since in solo you need traumas to relieve pressure. Since if you get quad chowed in solo, you're better off surviving with 1 HP, killing 2 people, then popping right back to 200. But this play is not that bad as a team, so it's not that big of a deal. He can use his team to relieve the pressure rather than have to rely on a trauma kit. Depends how he plays, if he plays with a team. Although I prefer to save the trauma kits for a bit. Again, here, this is the same exact thing with the grapple. If he was standing closer to the wall and then grappled a bit higher up here, he would have done a bungee jump, went over the top, and then been able to look down at these guys here. Instead of having to like climb over the top of this. This is a safer way to grapple, depending on what's up there. If there was like full loot guys up there, he would have definitely needed to do that, but it's just random garbages, so I guess it's fine. Also, if he had a mobility, this climb wouldn't have been as heavy on him, although it literally did not matter. Here, he's finally found a place where you can farm noobs. This is preferably what you want for 40s. Farm garbages who have no loot. He's missing a lot of loot. He's not actually paying attention to what he has, so whenever you find shit like this, what this tells you is no one's been here. So over here, he can still find like another brawler or another mobility, and he did find 9mm here, which he needs. Sadly, he didn't notice this. This push right here is a very weird push. Main problem is it's really risky. He didn't peek this side, and if you look at where he killed the first guy, the enemies can, or his teammates, they aren't just on this side. It's not like certain they're just on this side. They can also come from this door right here. So if he had really bad timing, what would have happened is he would have killed this guy, brawlered him, and then got shot in the back. So this guy I would have rather shot. Also his armor got broken because of this. So if this was a way more unfortunate scenario, he might have been shot in the back here. Or even from the side. He still decides to push here, which is fine. But I think he's playing slightly a bit too fast. Also this door busting straight in. It's without armor and shit, without the mobility. He probably wants to open it then peek. He gets really lucky here because he finds a guy with level 3. Basically has everything he needs. And this is actually the craziest play of this game. I don't think I've ever even had this. The only reason he survives this is because this guy at level 3 and he picked it up. If he didn't pick up that level 3, big RIP, he would have been knifed and insta-killed from this piece of shit. But he plays it pretty well, starts a brawler so we can control this area very easily because it's all close quarters. Guy grapples on top so he knows he has full loot. He's also very fortunate in the fact that his teammates aren't here. Although if they were, it wouldn't be that big of a nuisance because you can use them to hold angles, bait them and shit. Guy camping in a room and shit, it's crazy. The way he's looting these bags is he's sort of focusing on 9mm, but he can definitely loot a lot more from here than what he's looting. And as you can see, he's basically formed a nice vacuum because he gives the enemies incentive to come back. Their bags are still here, of course, so they're going to keep on coming back, try and get their loot, and they have no... he's just going to get free kills when they're looting the bags, which is preferably what you want to set up for high kills. Have people redeploy, have them try and grab a bag. Also, he misses the perk up here. I don't exactly know what it is, but this is... his whole looting situation, his whole loot is an absolute RIP. One grapple, no equipment, perks are expiring, and his meds are, well, bandages. He definitely needs to be focusing on loot here, which he doesn't sadly do. Another wipe, which is an RIP. He has so many people he can loot, even the guy in the corner here. Mainly, he just needs like a mobility, more equipment, just more utility, so he can continue on his supply and not lose momentum. Not overstretch himself as well. Get some more safety. You don't exactly have to worry too much. Like, there are certain things where you can just loot and it's safe. For example, the guy in the doorway, or in this little whatever room it was. You can loot that, like, the chance of you dying is really low.
Nina?
Lucky that this guy didn't shoot. This was really lucky because he has a monk, he would have one-shot him. So again, because of the storm here, this is another safe bag right here which he can take loot from. He really needs loot in this game. 9mm, it's not really an issue, but he needs like some sort of perks at least. Any utility that can hold his momentum. He's also getting really lucky with the people who are redeploying on this. This sort of position with these 4 cottages is one of the best to try and maximize kills in the game. And he's very lucky that he has a vacuum right here. This was very nearly big RIP. If those guys could shoot back, he might have died. This guy in the corner has water glitch, which is a bit sad, so he gets RIP'd. Wipes like this happen, you can't really do anything about it. Just what it is. Again, at this point, he really needs to get his supply sorted, because once his brawler like runs, he's like, he has loot on paper but not in reality. It would just make trying to go for more kills way harder, trying to maximize everything way harder. He hasn't actually requested any loot from his team, which is also interesting. If he was playing in a more support way, so this quad doesn't look like a full support quad. If he was playing in a support quad, they could have actually fixed this problem for him. He's playing in a actually kind of a solo squad mentality this whole game, and he's really neglecting the supply. Again, so many safe bags here, like, he just runs past all of them. It's crazy. Now, some people say I loot too much in the game, but usually I make sure I don't put myself in this sort of position with very little loot. Right here, in this position, we also didn't talk about kill timings. He was basically on point with kill timing. If you look here, first zone, he has 11-ish kills. You want about 10 kills minimum for 40 by first zone. By second zone, you want 20, which he had 24, which is good. This timing is sort of good enough for like maybe a bit more of a middle 40, like 44, 45-ish. And then by this zone, which we were just in, he has 33, which is perfect for 40. At this point, like, him choking this 40 is very unlikely. Only problem is, again, now he's losing the 9mm supply.
Yeah, let me get all these kills, please.
Big RIP. Hang on,
Let me get all these kills.
Rewind how we killed this guy. So we killed the guy just coming through a window. Here he requests
Yeah, let me get all these kills, please.
a support doctrine from his team. Most teammates, if they're not randoms, these aren't randoms, so they will most likely turn into support teammates now.
Kills.
One of the benefits of playing squad, you can always request support. Although he should definitely be requesting supply right now rather than the kills, because he does not. He's overstretching himself, not gonna lie. Again, and this is the exact position which, if he had perks, especially smokes, grapples, equipment, this wouldn't be as bad. He could have had consumer to pop these heals, mobility to skate on these guys, break their ankles, even ammo to kill them, to be honest.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a perfect example of what happens when you don't have the good enough supply.
Yeah, hold on. I need ammo.
He can't push these guys because he can't heal fast enough, and he's in a really shitty, annoying situation.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Now he's requesting supply from his teammates.
No, I got it.
This was the big RIP. This guy should have just left it. Not gonna lie. You could have literally one-shot this guy, got another kill. But for this game, he's lost 2 kills. 1 from the beginning by the staircase, 1 here from his teammates.
I need ammo. Oh, no. Pick me up. Yo, I need armor and ammo. Armor.
So he requests a supply now, which is of course good. I don't think anyone should ever feel annoyed at trying to get stuff from teammates. Or like, oh, it's a shame. It's just how the game is, you know. Teammates will help you. They're good teammates. They're not killing here, which is really good. They have turned all into support, which is pretty nice. Very convenient for him. This is exactly like the position where he just has no supply. No ammo, nothing. Here he makes one mistake. I think he was a bit stressed. Like, he actually, if he sort of analyzed the situation, he didn't have to run back. He could actually run forward because there's no one in the storm here. And in this case, he would have actually been able to revive Genocide. Instead, he ran back here and got choked by these guys. These were already shooting before, so you knew they were there. He doesn't actually pay the price for this, but Genocide does.
Kill.
So he loses Genocide as his teammates. Again, loses Genocide, it's fine, not that big of a deal. All he needs is one teammate to revive him, technically. I mean, it's kind of sad that Genocide died, but he is not needed for the 40.
Pick me up, bro. You gotta be on this corner.
The way he played this, his teammate, was really weird. He grappled all the way to the top, and left Fiji unattended. If these guys push now, Fiji would have actually been dead because of his teammate. And he's even looking the wrong way. These guys are on 2nd floor. They can have a full open route on him, and they also, I think, from later on you'll see they have loot. So his teammate made a really, really dumb decision here. He should have definitely instead just elbowed this, made sure they didn't peek, and just revive him in the corner. He ends up getting the revive, came back, of course. The reason he is fine coming back is, I mean, if they didn't push now, they wouldn't have pushed later. So he has an open revive. So Fiji here is completely correct. Like, he can revive him.
Drop me your armor if you could.
And this is the big play of having teammates. You can request supply, they'll get you supply. If you take a look at his inventory, 1 second. Where is his inventory? Shit. It's literally all bandages, bro.
You gotta be on this corner your armor if you could.
All bandages, 1 second.
Your armor and ammo.
We'll go frame by frame. All bandage. Nothing in the inventory. His SWAT had no attachments, so he should have definitely taken those attachments from the Olgar. This whole game, the main pivotal theme is that the supply was absolutely garbage. And it wasn't exactly because there wasn't any supply. He just did not take the opportunities of supply he could have.
Armor?
Which again, this gameplay was not a tragedy. He did not die at the end. But it would have helped him maximize kill potential. He has armor. Of course he has armor repair because his armor broke before. Here he definitely should at least try and loot some of these bags. I think some of these bags had actual stuff. Some of them didn't, of course. But I mean, when you're in endgame and you have this sort of kills to people remaining, chances of you losing like 1 or 2 kills are very low. You can take a bit more time here to play it out. He ego chows him, which is fine because his teammate was peeking. This push was a big, really unsafe, but I guess the push sort of worked. When you push like this, right? There's 2 mistakes he does. First of all, he reloads while pushing, which slows him down. That's one of the side effects of reloading. And also he doesn't look up like where the eye are. So what can happen? There is another guy up here. If he doesn't go for the revive, he might ego chow, and he just basically gives him a free kill here because Fiji's just out in the open. Oh shit! I need to delete this. There we go. So Fiji definitely should have been a bit more secure here. I looked up, just in case the guy ego chowed. His teammate went up straight to the top, made sure they don't revive, which is good for him. And he's playing full support. He doesn't push this guy to let Fiji have the kill.
You mogged him?
Again, if you just pay attention to EG's ammo and shit, it's big RIP. Then from here, he finally gets all his loot. He still doesn't make put stuff on his SWAT though. It's like by Fiji's own doctrine of playing, he is handicapping himself. He's making the game more difficult than it should be. One of the effects of this is mainly stress. One clip I would like to show you is back here, I think.
Yeah, let me get all these kills, please. Let me get all these kills.
You can tell by the tone of his voice he's getting a bit stressed on this game. When you have stress, you can't really do anything about it. The only way you can overcome it is just by getting more gameplays. You know, if you have infinite 30s, you're never going to be stressed at losing them. If you have infinite 40s, you're never going to be stressed at losing those either. But you know, you always have stress. It just makes your thought process a bit more retarded, and I think that's probably why he didn't really think about the loot opportunities he had. I mean, he could have put some of these attachments on the SWATs, made it a bit easier for himself. There was also loot back here as well he could have taken. He knows this is a 40 game. He probably knew it all the way from back here. At probably like mid-game. From here, he knew this was a 40 opportunity. That adds a lot of stress on the mentality of a person. Anyway, this is a 2v3. He has 1 support teammate, so everything looks fine. The way you should push this is slow. Like, the places the guys could be is like they could be here, sitting, camping. They could be on the shipwreck, and they could be underneath here. I think his teammate already found them because you can't hear the teammate, but he says where. He gets RIP'd by a vendetta. He should definitely check back here, which I believe he does. Yep. There could be just like 1 solo sitting in the bushes, so you never want to assume this is a 3-man team. But from this information he now has, it's clear to see that it's a 3-man. He has the horribly garbage position in this. He basically has no cover, can't revive his teammates. It's a 1v3. Armor is RIP. Supply, again, big RIP. This is one of the situations where if Fiji had better enemies here and he had this supply, this might have been a 40 bomb choke instead of a 40 bomb. And he really, the main reason he overcome the supply issue was just because he just was so brainless. To be quite honest with you. Because this position is basically unwinnable. If these guys are good enough to play what they have, they were not good enough. He does the perfect moves though. He gets the cover. He wants to reach out these guys, try and preferably at least put pressure on them, or down. Preferably down, which he did manage to do. You have another guy here. He should know there's a guy somewhere here or back here because he heard the vendettas from like a bit further back. And he probably should see this guy as well. He makes the decision to push. This is exactly where supply would have come in. Like mobility, grapples, smokes, even consumer, just in case they hit him and he needs to heal. But these guys just, they make the dumbest plays. They don't ego chow. They run away and they do nothing. They give him the good position. So now they have to come to him. So these guys really, I don't know what they did, but they really did not have the brain. He decides to push this guy and end him. He did this quite fast. It's very difficult to, if you do it this fast, it's very difficult to like check if someone's like peeking from here and here. So it might have been a bit better if you like sort of elbowed. And also there was this guy, you could barely see him. but you can actually tell that he's running to him. This is actually the main worry. So he sees that he's not there, so he knows he had to come back around. And he does the... This is kind of a perfect play here. The guy doesn't even know how to shoot back. They came one at a time. This guy should have definitely peeked with his team. He's peeking and running back, of course. He needs to get ready. He needs to get his guns ready. He out-peeked a bit too far there. Took a bit of damage. Now this guy... Fiji made a very weird play here. He ego chows this. So he does a short peek, gets the information. From this information, if you look at what he saw... let me just show you. He sees the guy standing still. He's not pushing around. So he's waiting for him to peek. Like, I don't really know why Fiji would have ego chowed this. It's better to... He has enough time, because he's not pushing, he has enough time to pop the second red med. But he actually does an ego chow here, where he's already peeking. This could have ended really badly if he made like a full ego chow. Luckily he didn't. Again, this is a very stressful situation. Of course, you have to understand it's 41 kills, so you can maximize that at 42. Again, he does very slow peaks, which is perfect for the situation. He has the cover, he has the advantage of this big rock he has. So he can keep on moving around, popping meds. What he basically needs to do is buy time, and he bought enough time. He ego chows 122, which is fine. He already knew this guy has no armor, so to be quite honest with you, he should be fine winning this in like most situations, and he did. And that is the end of the video. One big problem though was his VMP ammo. Depending on how the situation went, this might have been a problem, but he managed just to scrape by all the supply he had, and it was all good for him. Basically, the conclusion of this game is this game was a pretty nice 42, pretty strong. He had a lot of opportunities here for kills, mainly because Fata zone went. He got very, very nice, I wouldn't call it lucky, but convenient redeploys, convenient enemies, but his supply pillar that holds up your game was an absolute big RIP, mainly because he did not seek the supply that he needed. It did sort of make killing people a bit and more annoying. You could definitely feel it in this part of the gameplay. He might have missed out on maybe 1-2 kills-ish, sort of, but not by much. He still managed to secure the 40, so it didn't cost anything. The gameplay could have definitely been maximized, maybe about 44, 45-ish kills, if he managed to fix some of the issues there, mainly like supply, which would have allowed him to get a few more interesting options here. His supply wouldn't have ran out basically as quickly. And anything else? Yeah, I think that's pretty it. And I do have to say, I would say, I don't know about if this is true or if it is not, but I do have a feeling there was a lot of mental conflict in Fiji. A lot of stress, which made his gameplay slightly less harmonious. Again, nothing you can do. But the more you play with the game, the less stress you have. So for me, like, I don't really give a shit if I die. I play solo squad, so I don't really have that much stress. But Fiji is in a different situation. 40 has a lot more value to him because this 40 is like 20% more. For me, it's like only 5-ish% more. So
you can pick me
you
up
can definitely understand that. But yeah, that's basically it for the gameplay. Just more supply. And you can definitely see some big stress in there. Tell me what you thought. If you want to see more gameplays like this, of course, tell me. If you want to see anyone else's gameplay, tell me. And if you enjoyed the video, also tell me. If you didn't, tell me as well. And hopefully you have learned something and have a nice, wonderful day. Farewell.